Haere mai, Capricorn. Thanks for joining me. This is your reading for this new moon in Leo, which is coming up. It's literally 2 days away now. So yes, wouldn't it be nice if the clouds parted and we could see the sliver, this lovely new moon in Leo. Now do check out, if you know what they're in, your ascendant moon, Venus and Jupiter. And remember, these are very general readings, general intuitive readings, tarot readings. But let's see what the storyline is for all you Capricornians out there at the moment. Let us see. Just give them, make sure they're very well shuffled here. Wow. So we've got the Lovers coming out, primarily a card of choice, but it's very much a Gemini card, of course, about the dualities, the integration of the dualities in life. Integration, I guess. Could be about, that someone special, if we look at this in a literal sense, could be about that. We also have the Nine of Wands coming up. Is there a relationship or situation where there is a wounded party or someone that feels a bit defensive or feels that they have to be defending themselves? This is the Nine of Wands. I guess they always say, the wounded warrior. There's a distinct dampening or interference of directed will in this card. It is the habits of old that carry on through, and it's a default, it's like it can be a default behavior. So is this happening within a relationship or is it just, let's just see what's going on here. Is there a sort of defensive element in terms of making a particular choice for Capricorns, or wow, that just flew out, Judgment. So we've got Judgment here. The difference between a lot of decks, like I have used the Thoth deck usually here, and we will go through and clarify with that deck, but when we speak of Judgment and operating under an authority, is it an external authority, or is it seen to be your connection with a wider, more divine sort of authority, like source force, whatever, God force, whatever way you want to look at it, nature, that which runs through us all, is an energy. But what I'm talking about is, do we see authority as an external thing that comes to determine our lives, or does that come from ourselves? I guess that's the question here, because for example, if you are interested in tarot, like the Rider-Waite, it is about a kind of off-planet authority. There's a kind of Christian element to it, I think. Whereas in, say, for example, the Thoth deck, it is more an internal authority, your connection with natural law, source force, that kind of thing. Yeah, so it's interesting. So we have Judgment coming out here. Is it time to, we need to make some choices, Capricorn? Or is it, whatever scenario is going on for you? And as I said, remember, these are incredibly general readings. So leave what doesn't resonate, take what does. So we're looking at choices, lovers, relationships, possibly a defensive element within here. A time of really everything coming home to roost and needing to make some choices here, maybe, Capricorn. So we'll just get one more card. We've got too many coming out, but I'll just have a quick. Oh yeah, it's like way too many, right? So we'll take the one that's on top. Two of Swords, making a decision, making a choice. There's no rush. Making a choice based on our gut. See the similarities between the Two of Swords and the High Priestess actually in this deck. And so we see that this decision that has been made here, and the suit of the sword, all about the mind, the rationale, has not been made based on that. The decision has not been made based on that. It is on our intuition, actually. Interesting. Anyway, let's go through and clarify Capricorn. Let's go through and clarify when we look at the lovers. Let's just see if we can get something to jump. The lovers. It's a lovely card. Yeah, well, we got that coming out twice. Princess of Cups. Choices. We get the Princess of Cups. Very Neptunian. This is if you want to look at it like the artist's muse. The song of the siren that takes us on this sort of enchantment, on a dance of enchantment, maybe. Wonderful imaginings, imagination. But do we see what is really there? And how do we discern that? Imagination. What would life be like without having an imagination and imaginings and all of those wonderful things that come to us, and that we can actually put into form? What would life be without that? Possibly there's a little bit of a push-pull, between rationality. I mean, I do often get this with Capricorn, between rationality and emotion, that there's a bit of a going on here with this Princess of Cups. It's a beautiful card. I mean, it really is. But we can get lost in that, like in anything. Balance is everything, is it not? And we do have the lovers there. It could be relationship. It could be about integration of those aspects within yourself, your imaginings, and the real solid stuff, that's in front of you. Anyway, let's look at the Nine of Wands, Capricorn. But obviously this is an issue for some of you, for some out there. Well, we've got the World coming out. We're learning something. We've learnt something. We've understood something. We must have, because the World heralds in a new, cycle. That's right. Yes, it's another one. They never stop, don't they? They just don't stop. Look, we see this beautiful blue portal. We understand. We understand the habits of old. We understand, possibly our default mechanisms. We understand our strengths. We understand our weaknesses here. It's like it's just all been stripped back after being on that Neptunian moment. But it's all been stripped back. We understand it. We see it. We get the Emperor coming out with the universe, with the world. Speaking earlier of authority, I do believe you well seated in this throne, of your own authority. You are seeking that without bandying about the words that seem to be going around and around at the moment, sovereignty and, oh, God Almighty. And, I don't know. Maybe I'm being a bit facetious, sarcastic. I don't know. But, bandy the word sovereignty about, tell that to every colonised nation of people, and around the world. Like, what about my sovereignty? Like, we really need to get it into perspective, or use a different word, I think. But anyway, that's just my opinion. Anyway, Capricorn, I digress. But we have you sitting in this Emperor's throne. Yes, indeed. Pretty strong position. Pretty strong position. Let's just look at the Judgment card. Speaking of authority, judgment coming from somewhere else or coming from ourselves. It's really, I mean, when you think of judgment, it's almost as if there's no room for emotion, is there, in judgment? Judgment seems to be quite harsh, but is judgment just natural law? When you look out at the world around you, nature predominantly, it's natural law in play constantly. And we are part of that, let's face it. Anyway, judgment. I'm going off on tangents here. 6 of Swords, very much a mind card, moving to a, calmer place psychologically. This is healthy stuff. Or it could be physically moving. This could be part of this new cycle and this understanding of your own position, Capricorn. But I do think it is about somehow in relation to other people. There are other people here. Obviously, there always is, usually, other people. We get the Ace of Swords. Yes, there are other people. Okay. 2 of Swords, please, for Capricorn. 2 of Swords for Capricorn. This is a tough one, actually, I think. We get 2 cards here. Look, I think I was saying in another video, I can't remember what one it was, but maybe it was Libra, that our ability to choose, to make choices is our biggest, it's the thing that that keeps the wheels moving. It's the thing that keeps life, prevents life from becoming sort of stagnant in certain areas. It is our one big power. our ability to make choices. And because of that, I think sometimes these choices are so loaded that because we load them with stuff, you know, it's like, well, if this doesn't work, oh my God. Or if I do this and it doesn't work, it's often if it doesn't work, oh my God, what if it does work and this happens? You know, we kind of get carried away on that as if there is only so many choices that we are allocated throughout a lifetime. It doesn't work like that. Choices are endless. And I think I said, and yeah, it's just, this is what I'm getting from here, because we're looking here at the Two of Swords. As I said, there's no rush to make that kind of gut decision here. There's no rush to do that. And of course, speaking of choices, and I'm not trying to marginalize anyone that is in a position where they are really restricted through mental health issues, external circumstance around them. I'm not marginalizing that kind of experience here. I'm just speaking generally of our ability to choose, right? So yeah, there's no time issue involved in this. The cards that we get, losing my train, we get Judgment again. In the Thoth deck, it's called Eon. When I'm speaking about authority here at the beginning, because it seems to be this theme that you are your own authority. What was I talking about? The Rider-Waite being, it's sort of like a Christian idea of authority, like we're seeking an off-planet God here to come and judge us or play that judgment thing out. This is not the case here, which is why I love the Thoth deck actually, is that it is we seek that from our connection with the divine, with our connection, our personal connection with the divine. It's very egocentric, I guess. But to me, it's far more real. And so we have Judgment coming up again when we're looking at the Two of Swords. We know, Capricorn, that you are at this time your own authority, and that is the way it should be. We also have your card, the little devil. Now, in this deck also, it is about enjoying the fruits of life, of this earth plane. People, food, music, all of the wonderful sensory pleasures of life. Encourages us to enjoy that. At the same time, as with every coin, there is another side, and that is attachments, you know, codependency, dependencies, addictions, basically attachments. And of course we have the little thought forms here in their bubbles, the tormented figures, bound by their attachments. This seems to be the nature of whatever decision that you're going to make at some point, because things have moved in a way whereby you're in a position to be able to make whatever this decision is. I know this sounds very general, and it is, but things seem to have developed to a point where there is a decision that needs to be made. It is more of an intuitive decision, but you're well standing on that middle ground here, Capricorn. I do see that. There's a clear understanding of what seems to be the rationale, the emotional, to simplify it. See, we have this the Singer of Transfiguration on the bottom of Brian Froud's deck here, which is about shifting energy, about transmutation, transfiguration. You know, we shift energy. I mean, we're doing it all the time, often without even knowing it. Okay, now, what can Brian Froud give us? Pixie and Fairies, we get Losguna. This is about rediscovering places and spaces that are around you that you forgot about, or that you've been distracted to a point where you're rediscovering familiar places here. And there's an enthusiasm about this card because Losguna's had to kind of pull herself out of the mud, right? In order to get moving, in order to see around, to look around, to rediscover. We also have the Fawn, which is about counterparts, mirrored images, friendship, actually. Just like the Lovers. It's a sort of mirrored image, you know. Counterpart. Now, in cahoots with your counterpart. Lovely Capricorn. Now, let's just see. Journey map. I'm going to pick a card. Just picking some different cards this week. Pick a card. There are 4 seasonal cards in this deck. They're just seasonal, you know. Everything about that particular season. Now we get an autumnal card here, actually. Contemplate and cut back. Preparation. Preparation for the colder months. Thank God we're actually not that far away from, 6 weeks odd away from spring. Yay, I can't wait. We have contemplation and cutback. Preparation. Something is being prepared here, Capricorn. And I just picked one more card. What seems so lovely and appropriate for this new moon in Leo is that we just get this gorgeous sprite coming out to remind us to have some fun. So let's have fun. Next week, this week, let's do it. All right, Capricorn. We'll see you next time. Take good care and do enjoy. Hopefully the clouds disperse and we can see that burgeoning new moon in Leo. Take good care. Ka kite, bye.